Think I need another cheeseburger.
Fucking what? Fucking automated piece of shit.
Zoom lady. Yeah.
Listen, the lady's going to say it every goddamn time we start recording, okay?
Right.
This is for your protection, okay? This is for all of our protection. We live in a world now where everybody's being recorded all the time. You can't get away with a goddamn thing. So it is kind of nice that Zoom has built in a feature that if there were more people here that didn't know they were anonymously being recorded, maybe they were aware. Okay?
Wasn't it that didn't Linda Tripp let Monica Lewinsky know that she was recording her, and she went on and on about all the, I don't know, sexual stuff that her and Clinton did, but they couldn't be used in court because she didn't say, just letting you know you're being recorded. Yeah,
you have to tell people. Well, in certain states there's different rules.
Certain states are gravy. Yeah.
Yeah, like I think when we used to do on the radio like prank phone calls to people, it was like we were in Delaware, so we didn't have to tell them that we were recording them for the radio station, but because we were calling Maryland, we did. So there's a little bit of a gray area there. It's weird. Each state's a little bit different, and apparently when you call a school superintendent to tell them that their sign out in front of their elementary school is misspelled. And then, and then you put them on the air without their knowledge. It's frowned upon, apparently.
Better to ask for forgiveness than it is for permission. That's all I'm going to say. Situations like that, just say, I'm really sorry. Didn't know. Just joshing you. Just fooling you, man. Your school system sucks anyway, but shit's spelled correctly.
I didn't know I couldn't do that. Just the fucking Dave Chappelle line.
That's right. That's right.
It wasn't me. The Shaggy defense. It's perfectly fine.
You could make a whole hip hop cultured defense around one-liners like that. Yeah.
You plead the fifth. FIF.
Okay, well, I do have a question. Who was the Indian guy that was actually doing all the legwork for Shaggy? You know what I'm talking about? That guy that had he had the voice of an angel, and then it was just Shaggy. Wasn't me.
There was a singer guy. I don't know his name though.
You sure?
Yeah, nobody knows his name, and he sang 90% of that song.
Yeah, because it's Shaggy, bro. Shaggy made it that way.
Produced it. Probably produced the beat. Probably wrote his lyrics. And gave this guy a one-up. What did he do with it? Nothing. Nuffin. Nothing.
That's true.
That's right. Oh, did y'all celebrate your 4th of July by listening to Shaggy? Is that what happened, Murr? Did you have a Shaggy mixtape on your backyard while you and your family were cutting off fireworks?
Yeah, little Earth Angel in there or whatever the
Earth Angel.
Wow. Wow.
Was it?
What was the song? What was the song he sang about when it's all done?
I love this impression. This impression is so good.
Girl, you're my angel. You're my darling angel. Yeah, that song.
It's just Angel.
Mad hilarious. I think it's just Angel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was gonna say I didn't know Shaggy was on the Back to the Future soundtrack. That's interesting. That's so wild.
So crazy.
I didn't know the guy was in his 50s pumping out shit in the early 2000s. Yeah, man. So Andrew, you shared with us a little bit of a firework mishap. It's a little dark, but I think you can kind of make out bits and pieces. But if you wouldn't mind, can you narrate this for us?
Okay, sure. I'll narrate it for you. Went up to Pennsylvania because, of course, Pennsylvanians can't buy air-based fireworks in Pennsylvania, but Marylanders can. So hop on across the line. I bought like $100 worth of fireworks, and my wife actually picked out this fine set of fireworks. She liked they have a video screen that shows you what they all do, and she liked the little swirly tails on this one. So I picked it up, and apparently 2 of them went off at the same time, which just so happened to knock it over and turn the backyard into a scene from the feature film Platoon. And if you'd like to play this, I'll narrate further. Now, as you'll see at the very beginning, just standard, good old-fashioned outdoor backyard fireworks. Maybe a little step up from your standard, regular Walmart brand firework. So everything goes fine for about the first 15 seconds. Now, why don't you go ahead and hit play on that bad boy? Pretty good.
America.
Reasonable.
Look at that. Freedom.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Right. Oh, danger.
And all of a sudden, you see a tree kind of catch, and then my wife runs full tilt into the house. I thought she was either going to throw my child off the deck or she was going to save his life. You got to remember, though, that during this, I'm standing about, I don't know, 60 feet closer to the fireworks display, which is now tipped over in the yard. And somehow, every blast of firework that went off somehow went between my body and the other side of my body. Just like, vroom, vroom. Felt like I was in the Matrix. It was, yeah. But they hit the house. They were bouncing off the house. When I got done, there was like sulfur dust just like all over my deck.
That's an easy cleanup, though, right? That's just a little elbow grease.
No, that's just a little laughter, and the rain will take care of it.
Gotcha. Fair enough. Well, damn, man. Happy 4th of July. It's amazing with that out-of-state stuff because we would occasionally dip up into the PA line or over PA. Although there was one in Northeast that if you had an out-of-state ID, you could buy it. And Nick Antonon had one from New York for when he lived there for a hot minute and had a New York ID. So we used to buy stuff. But I remember I was in South Dakota with the family on a 4th of July, and there's a period, 2 weeks. It's a week before, and then maybe a couple days after 4th of July, where anyone can buy them. It's open market. It doesn't matter where you live or where you're from. And I bought $100 worth. Then my mom says, hey, because we drove out. This is the summer after 9/11, so we didn't want to fly out. My mom says, hey, do you want to take some back with you? It's my treat. And I was like, oh yeah. So I got her to buy me $100 worth. Then, Grandpa, Big West, is like, hey, you're not going back to Maryland empty-handed, are you? I'll buy some fireworks for you. I was like, yeah, I don't have any. And Big West dropped like $150, and I had to convince my mom that all this $350 worth of fireworks that was going to get driven across 7 or 8 state lines illegally, she bought all those. She was like, really? God, I don't think I bought this much. Said, yep, all you, 100%. So you bought every last drip drop of these, and then we shot them off all summer.
Yeah. I participated in some of the shooting off of the fireworks. Man, this might lend itself better for asking for a friend, but I think one of the greatest moments of my young life happened with those fireworks, and maybe a quick tour of Cecil County.
Yeah, I said that you weren't going to dive into a specific, but you were just saying the shooting of the fireworks in general.
I feel like if we get into specifics, I mean, is there a statute of limitations on any of this? I mean, not that we were doing anything illegally or anything, but
yeah,
okay, all right, I'll tell one, half of one. I just remember we rolled up to a cow pasture, and I won't say where, and one of your other brethren had basically twisted the fuses to a whole mess of black cats together. And it's like, watch this. Lights it and throws them, I don't know, like 20, 30 feet in the air above this like whole mess of cattle. And they just freak and start basically stampeding through this field. And then as we were moving away, we lit off some Roman candles. And it was like cow paintball with fireworks. And it was amazing.
That's how we coined Cecil County Drive-By. That's how we coined that phrase.
And just to see the glowing fireballs like bouncing off these cow hides and just like exploding and bursting, it was fucking amazing. Oh, it was glorious. I just remember cackling the whole time, barely able to like steady my fucking arm to be able to launch this Roman candle off at him.
There was a good week and a half, 2 week long stretch. Every time we came back, we made a point to stop at this construction site that was building condos and push over a active, used at the time construction site porta potty door down first every day. And I can't imagine what those guys showing up to the site said.
So rude. Was it a Hall's Honey Pot? You son of a bitch.
You're talking about nearly 20 years ago. I don't know if I was looking to see what type of brand porta pot we were hucking over. No idea.
All right.
Yeah. Good times. Alan, do you have any fun fireworks story? Did you guys skip around Do you guys like go up to 83 and pop them up just north of the PA line, right?
I mean, we could, but no, we didn't do shit this year. I mean, our annual thing is the pool typically, and then I got all hammered up, which I don't do very often anymore. So your boy was in rare form, I guess. And I guess I convinced Kelly, or Kelly convinced me, one way or the other, I don't really remember, to take a stroll around Pigtown in all of its glory, while like the neighborhood was fucking lighting fireworks off until God knows what, like 3 a.m.
They're still shooting them off.
They're still doing it. Yeah,
still,
I was like, I think I heard one earlier. So
it's been continuous 4th of July for the last month. I actually know what I was saying is any stories as a youth with fireworks dicking around.
Nah, not really. Honestly, fireworks never happened. Like I said, I mean, I've told a couple stories like where we started like large bonfires and threw other flammable things into them, but never really fireworks. I think I got all my jollies off doing probably far more illegal things like throwing aerosol cans into bonfires and things of that nature. So yeah, no fireworks, unfortunately, gang. Sorry about that.
Well, the thing is, Wes, is like where we grew up. I mean, I'm much more rural than where you grew up, but like we had nothing to do. We had nothing to do but light shit on fire and run from the cops. Like that was our whole gig. That was our youth.
Right.
And what's kind of amazing is you should have seen what was going on outside my house here in Conowingo. If you were a refugee from a foreign land, you would think that we were under fucking attack. And I remember as a kid, if like one firework went off, you would see cops like rolling down the road. They have completely given up in Cecil County. So they're just like, fuck it. Like they'll either light their own house on fire and then we'll go then. But for now, there's too many people and not enough officers. So we'll just let them have their fun. Screw it.
Good.
Which is kind of awesome because I kind of figured with the way everything's ramped up over the years that there'd be no chance of lighting off fireworks. Now it's just free for all.
There was go ahead, Alan.
I was gonna say you gotta know when to hold them. You gotta know when to fold them. You know.
That's right.
So the Cecil Tucky Police Department has been like, well, it's time to fold them, gang.
It's the juice.
This is a shit hand for now. We'll be back.
I like to think that the summer of 2002 was really what did them in. They just didn't. They couldn't. God damn it. We give up. I actually did two stories from that. Quick ones that I wanted to tell. One. So early on in that we got to a point where because I had so many fireworks, and if you bought big quantities of the good shit like your Roman candles, your Saturn missiles, your little Twizzlers, your Whizzlers, your Jibbly Jabblers, they give you
don't.
That's right. They gave you for if you bought, I don't know if it was like quantity or money's worth, but they gave you free bottle rockets. Just like get, here's some cheapos. And we had so many of these that however long we drove into the backwoods parts of Cecil County, you could constantly just keep shooting bottle rockets out the window nonstop the entire time. Just where are we going next? And I was in the back seat because I had one too many beers, and another guy in the back seat with me. I don't even want to give him credit for this, Jimmy, if you're listening. Yeah, he was taking note. Was like, damn, this is pretty wild, and grabbed what he thought was a bottle rocket, standard box one, but got something with a head on it that was like the size of your index finger. Touching your thumb, the outer rim of it, but only had the window down so much. And grab it, lit it, and bumps around the car. And I'm the back seat behind the driver. I'm just about to light another bottle rocket, and he pushes his feet against the door and smashes me in. Like, boom! It's like, oh shit! It's in the car! It's in the car! It's in the car! Trying to stomp it out, no avail. It was like, and we all got out. Car smoked up. It looked like someone took a fucking waffle iron to the back seat and sizzled it.
That's hilarious.
Kilby's cackling. I'm trying to get him to stop. I'm like, what are you laughing about? My car's destroyed! You son of a bitch! You're stupid!
I love how you were mad and you were also drunk and you also gave a bunch of idiots fireworks.
I know. In my car.
And then magically something bad happened.
Well, out of like the 40 times we did it that summer, that was really only the bad thing that came about it. So, but yeah, the the trip where I obtained the fireworks in South Dakota. I was partying with my cousin and his friends and a whole shitload of other people on the bank of the Missouri River in South Dakota. And unbeknownst to me, my nutso younger cousin coerced the salesman of the fireworks to get him. I would say what's the difference between an M80 and a quarter stick? Nothing. They're the same thing.
Not much. No.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more packed gunpowder.
I think a quarter stick of dynamite has a much more concussive blast, but in M80, yeah, a quarter stick of dynamite, it's just a different. I'd say the concussive blast is probably about the same.
Okay,
but it's a different. One's nitroglycerin and one's gunpowder, basically.
Gotcha. So I don't exactly know what he got, but it was something. He lit it and threw it about 10 to 15 feet away from us. And everyone just thought it was a standard like firecracker. And I had what I call the wah-wahs for about a minute. Like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Wow.
It's like, oh my fucking God. Had another group of people about 20 yards away approach us like, yo, you fucking lunatics. You're going to kill someone if you continue to do that. My cousin's like, oh, I only have one, so we're good. I was like, oh, Christ. Yeah.
Jesus.
Nutsos. It was fun,
South
though.
Dakota sounds crazy.
It's a good time. My mom woke me up at like 7:30 in the morning. What were you doing last night? What the fuck do you think I was doing? Celebrating our
Blowing stuff
independence. Blowing stuff up, drinking Coors Lights. I couldn't talk anymore.
I just remember one of the greatest life lessons I was ever taught. Is this guy lived down the street from me, and he happened to be the ex-husband of one of my elementary school teachers. And we were just lighting off like little single black cats, just pop,
Right.
little firecrackers. And he was like, listen, he stopped us on our bikes as we were riding down the road. He's like, heard what you guys are doing out there. If you guys don't want to get caught, the real way to do it is you get the big ones. You shove them in somebody's mailbox. You light a cigarette. You tear the filter off, and you put the cigarette on the fuse. That way you can ride away. Nobody knows it was you.
Not
Thank you
only
very much, sir.
Not only was he teaching you to be a vandal, he was also teaching you to smoke cigarettes. How old were you?
Fucking genius. And
Give it-
to be fair, he didn't say smoke the cigarette.
Yeah.
He said use it as a tool
Yeah.
for mischief.
He just said give it a few puffs.
Totally different.
And put it on the fuse and ride away.
Right.
Nobody will ever know it was you.
Yeah. Good for him. Good for y'all. One of the staples of 4th of July. I didn't catch it this year. I don't catch it. I don't make it a point to watch the Nathan's hot dog eating competition. But one Joey Chestnut prevailed for a 14th time, not consecutive. Apparently he has taken a year. 14 years. I don't remember the last time he didn't win. I mean, Kobayashi years. Outside of that, it's been pretty much him and only him. So he broke his own 10-minute mark. It used to be 12 minutes. Broke his own 10-minute mark of 76 hot dogs. I think the guy who finished second got, 842? Isn't that fucking incredible?
Dude, it's Joey Chestnut. I mean, you hate to like put him in the category of like the greats, like Usain Bolt, Bob Beeman, Joey Chestnut.
Shohei Ohtani, Michael Jordan, Joey Chestnut.
But there is no one comparable to this guy. I would challenge any professional athlete to try to perform this feat because it's been part of the zeitgeist for quite some time because of Joey Chestnut. I would challenge anybody to say that this is not an athletic performance of some kind. I mean, it's a feat of, I don't know, like not only is there the ability to eat that much and consume that much, there's a rhythm and an art form. You're shaving. He's trying to think about it like this with the buns and the water and the hot dog and the all that stuff. You're shaving time off. Every extra little minute moment in time it takes to swallow that thing lessens your numbers.
Right.
So it's an art form. It's a strategy that he's come up with. And by the way, he said he wanted to do 76 because of 1776.
Wow. Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, but there's also the preparation work. Obviously you don't just show up like, got an appetite, 76 in 10 minutes. I mean, he does jaw exercises. He maintains a certain stomach elasticity, a very strict diet. Does exercises outside of like biting on stuff to get his what do you call the cheek muscles, so things outside
mandibles,
of that. The stuff around his neck to be able to like swallow it faster and get it down. A lot of core, be able to like muscle that stuff. So yeah, he like I said, he doesn't just show up on the 4th of July, be like, haven't eaten for a few days. Oh, Joey's got an empty one. Here we go. Sound the horn. But I'd like to shed
the sound he makes.
I don't actually. They don't put a microphone.
No, they don't put microphones anywhere near them because it's probably fucking vile.
The only thing,
Dude,
it's not the hot dogs that get me. Go ahead, Mur.
Now, NFL Films needs to do a mic'd up Nathan's hot dog. Like ASMR fucking.
You better put that on like ESPN2. Like ESPN is for the regular viewers who just want the D-list commentators in ESPN who are booked to be in Coney Island on 4th of July. We're trying to break into the biz, and ESPN2 is what you just did there. God.
It would be so good.
It's not for me. It's not the hot dogs. It's the buns. They glob them in water and put them in, and
just mushy bread.
All the really good ones, like the people who are in the top 5, all have bread remnants like around underneath their eyes and all the way to their Adam's apples. Ugh, God. So to shed
bread mush.
What's that? Bread pudding?
It's bread mush.
To shed some light on his accomplishment, 22,800 calories, a little over 1,300 grams of fat, and 1,800 carbs, 1,800 plus carbs. So here's some exercises that will show you what it would take to burn all of these off. All right. You have to run 220 miles. That's roughly the distance between New York and Boston. It would take 28 hours of swimming, 29 hours of cycling, or if you liked all 3 of those leisurely activities and exercises, you could do 2 full Ironman triathlons, and that's not the sprint or the Olympic. That's the full. I think it's a mile and a half. You bike 122 or 130 miles, and you run a marathon. And then when you're done, do it all over again, and you'll burn off what Joey Chestnut did here this past 4th of July. Jesus fucking Christ.
That's crazy.
Wow.
I knew it was going to be a lot, but that's like a lot. That's fucking insane.
I'm still, the more we've been talking, like, I'm just thinking of like eating 76 hot dogs. Like, if you gave me 24 hours to eat 76 hot dogs, it'd probably take me, how long do you think it would take? Like 10 hours?
Hot dogs?
70.
Yeah.
I don't think you could sit. I don't think you could do it in one sitting.
Take me a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not eating 76. I'm not ever eating 76 hot dogs in a day or 2 days. Not even, multiple days.
And that's
I might not even finish them. I'd probably want to fucking vomit after I saw another hot dog.
Yeah.
I did a hot dog eating contest one time, and I ate 8 of them. I ate 8. 8. This son of a bitch ate 70 fucking 6. How?
Right. He's like you said, Murr. He's Jordan. He's Ruth. He's Gretzky.
Yeah. He's Mount Rushmore of sports, sir.
He's Ali.
It makes me wonder, like, how he's. They need, honestly, when he's like saying like this is my last year. He's 37. I looked it up. He's 37 years old. I don't know what the lifespan, like literally and athletically, of a competitive eater is. I don't know. I don't even know if we've like touched that yet. Like, what's the lifespan? Like, do these guys die young? This is like a new quote unquote sport. Like, these guys have like upped it to a level that no one's seen before. So, like professional wrestlers, like average age is like 53. Like, what's the average age of a competitive eater going to be when it's all said and done? Because he actually looks rather emaciated. If you see the pictures of him, like he's like in such shape. It looks like he's been running marathons nonstop, and then all of a sudden, a little famished.
Yeah,
I think I'll have me 10 days worth of hot dogs.
Well, his doctor was probably like, you have to fucking do back-to-back Ironman triathlons or else you're going to fucking die. Like,
yeah.
So he probably, and like Wes said, he definitely is in fucking like phenomenal shape. Like he treats it like any athlete would a sport, I guess. It's fucking strange to say that about stuffing hot dogs in your face, but yeah.
But is he chewing them? Like, I'm. Is he literally swallowing the hot dogs?
I think he sometimes does. He gets like big chunks, like maybe like bites them in like thirds, but like he's just swallowing from that point. Like he's not like chewing like we chew our food. It's a swallow fucking game. So that's why like everything's moistened. There's a big gulp cup for him to fucking just dunkaroo that fucking wiener in there, like, and he just right on down the gullet.
I'm not purposely trying to be funny here, but it does make me wonder why there aren't more like, I don't know, like porn stars like entered into this that can take a heavy load, if you will, all in one gulp. Like if they could stretch their stomach out a little bit, like, and they have no gag reflux, or like the sword swallowers. Like, why aren't there more of these people in these competitions? This is a special man, and he needs to be studied for human research.
Yeah, I think it's all about that stomach expansion. I think that's the biggest thing.
That's a thing Kobayashi unraveled, what you're talking about.
Yeah, because he like I know in things that I've seen about like Joey Chestnut, he's like that's his biggest thing. Like, so a lot of his training will just be like literally just like chugging water and just throwing it right back up, like, you know what I mean? Because he's literally just trying to expand the capacity of his stomach in one sitting, and then everything else is just he's got shoving them down there pretty locked down. It's just how many can he fit in it, and that's what he's been working on.
Next time I go to the grocery store, I'm going to grab as many packs of hot dogs as I can to get to 76. And I want to see what that mass looks like. Because that's huge, man.
Don't forget the buns.
It does make me...
Don't forget the buns.
Well, that and the buns, too. You're right. And I think, okay, I'll give it this. I will say that the mushed up bun in the water would probably be the crevices between the hot dogs. Like, if you know how hot dogs are round, so it just... that mush would fill in all those spaces. I want to see how much 76 hot dogs. I mean, that's got to be a lot. It makes me wonder if he's like the Secretariat of eaters. Like Secretariat had like a double-sized heart of normal horses. It's like a freak of nature. Does Joey Chestnut have like extra stomach lining?
I was actually going to bring this up. I was going to say when he dies, they ought to give him an autopsy because you stole the words out of my mouth. I was going to say it. Secretariat had a heart that was about 2 to 2.5 size the size of a normal thoroughbred. He probably has a stomach that you could probably wrap around his body 4 times. They should dip it in some sort of protective iodine and take it down to the American History Museum. Like, look at that. Look at that.
So wait, hold on. Hot dogs come in 8 packs, right? For the most part,
I think
like
so.
Your average SK Frank,
yeah,
comes in a fucking 8-pack. That's 9.5 8-packs. Just to put that into some perspective, at least mentally.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I want to know how.
Well, it does make sense.
I'm just like,
he's worth $1.5 million, and he won $10,000 for winning.
We watch him do it. We've been watching him do it for like almost a decade.
Yeah.
Damn. I mean, that's a good payday. I mean, it's a good payday. So he's worth shit, man. 37 years old. You're worth $1.5 million for shoving food in your face. I mean, look, it's an effort. What he's doing is an effort. Of all the quote-unquote athletes in the world, I'd say he earns it about as much as anybody else.
Yeah, that's torturous. Guys, okay, this Sunday, you're going to watch a team win the European Championship, and they're going to celebrate, and they're going to fucking be having grins ear to ear. They're going to be, confetti and champagne, and God knows what celebration is going to happen after that off cameras. Joey Chestnut looks like he got stabbed in the gut by 4 fucking daggers when he's done. He's like, oh! Oh,
He
smile.
looks in excruciating pain. Like he just had he had a stomach bug and just vomited consistently. For his throat's engorged. You ever see one of them adult videos where a young lady decides to take on a multitude of young men, but only in her throat piece. At the end of that video is a lot like Joey Chestnut at the end of a fucking Nathan's hot dog eating contest. It's very graphic and not at all erotic.
Well, congratulations to him. Hey, before we move on, well, we maybe got a little bit of time. I'm not going to say we need to speed this up, but not exactly, but around 1 year ago today, Alan, you said this, and it's resonated with me because you said you felt like not only at Nathan's hot dog eating competition, but every now and then they'll air some of these on like some other sports channels. Some of the other they have a professional eating league. I think it's called PEL or something like that.
Yeah, I think it is.
But you said you get a kick out of the commentator, and I would like to show you that video.
I
Wait a minute.
think I've enjoyed anything. I enjoy anything as much as hearing competitive eaters' credentials. In lead ups to he put down 17 bean burritos in 3 minutes. It's phenomenal.
The world's deviled egg, oyster, salami sandwich, potato chip, ice cream, banana split, champion of the world. That was.
I don't think I've enjoyed anything.
No.
I enjoy anything. Playing it on loop. Oh man, yeah, it still is my favorite. You know, there's always some jackwagon fucking eating Oreos, like a fucking 15 packs of Oreos and a full gallon of whole milk. fucking man child comes out, fucking barrel chested.
And
they're phenomenal.
All the eaters at that level are I won't say they have a specialty, but there are guys who are deviled egg eating connoisseurs. You know, Chestnut
Chicken wings is a good one.
Chestnut is specific to Nathan's hot dogs, and that's the biggest payout. That's the biggest prize. That's the creme de la creme of eating competitions. But he's been beat. They said there's a couple guys in the competition who had beat him a few times in other foods, other disciplines, if you will. And that's what's shocking to me. I mean, Chris, you imagine, I've heard of like oyster eating champs. Some of these professional eaters who slam through like 10 dozen oysters.
Yeah, I don't know if I could. I think I could do some sweets. Like I could get down on that fucking Oreo thing. You know, I like Oreos and milk. But like, nah, I couldn't do this shit. And I guess everyone that's worth its weight in competition, you have to probably dunk in water, and I think that's a real hindrance for me.
Speaking of which, hold on, Murr. About 7 years ago, we were at, and you said Oreos and milk. We were at Alan and I and a few other people attended an event known as Wing Bowl in the Wells Fargo Center at Philadelphia. To set the pager, to set the scene here for you all, we meet up in the parking lot about 3 to 3:30 in the a.m. We start drinking. Jesus. Then they open the gates up at about 6:30 to 6:45. You have to wait a few minutes to get a beer. And then throughout the remainder of the a.m. hours, a wing eating competition takes place. They parade you around in floats. They show your credentials. And this is what Alan's talking about. Alan, I'm going to turn the sound way down, and you can kind of narrate what it is that we see here. It's going to be pretty quick, but this is where we were. Here's the stage, and here's where they kind of give you all the bells and whistles.
Yeah, like, look at that guy on the screen down there. He's just waiting. You know. Oh, wait. Yeah, there he goes. Big C. One ham hock in 5 minutes. Like one whole fucking ham hock. Could you imagine that? That's ridiculous. And then where's it go? Oh, chicken legs. Chicken legs. Bluebell, Pennsylvania. 30 double stuffed Oreos and a half gallon of milk in under 5 minutes. Welcome, chicken legs. Like so much good stuff. Like, and I think that was me talking about street cred. And I
That's
was
right.
just like, yeah, look at these guys. Look at all the street cred they're flashing on this screen. If you haven't eaten fucking a multiple packs of something or one whole animal part in under 30 minutes, who are you in competitive eating?
Yeah.
Well, I will say, though, I do think the Nathan's hot dog eating competition is the purest form of the eating competition. One, Nathan started it all. They started it all, I don't know how many years ago, probably like 100. How many years ago is it now? I think that was one of the big deals. We're somewhere between probably like 70 and 100 years ago. They started doing the Nathan's hot dog eating competition like in New Jersey. And so the shape of the hot dog, like all of it. And so somebody like Joey Chestnut, I think it comes down to like you know how like Tiger would play in other tournaments, but he wasn't really trying. He was just like working on shit. He'd still come in like 5th place. Yeah. And then when the majors showed up, Tiger was just winning them left and right. And so I think Joey Chestnut, he shows up to these other eating competitions just to get like his sponsors, some eyeball time on people, earn a few extra bucks. And then he shows up to Nathan's and says, fuck the world, baby. This is what I do. You're not even in my league. I almost guarantee he could probably win some of those other competitions, but it does come down to technique. Swallowing those hot dogs, dipping those buns, down the gullet. It's a masterpiece. And I think we're not taking it seriously enough. I think after 14 years of seeing him win like 10 out of 14, we should really start looking at this guy as a real American hero.
Yeah, I want him to talk at fucking graduations. Some of the more prominent ones too, not like some pussy ass place like Frostburg State. I mean, give me like Yale, Princeton.
I think you should get like an honorary degree from somewhere, like the Culinary Institutes of America or something. Like all types of crazy shit. I want like 2 presidents from now to give them like a fucking Medal of Honor or something, or like or whatever the highest civilian honor is. What is it, like the Medal of Freedom or some shit?
Bronze Star? Or is that
No, it's not the Bronze Star.
Star, something. Fuck, I don't know. Whatever we give to
the fucking bronze hot dog. I don't know. Make something up for him.
Yeah, that's totally fucking fine. Make a new medal up.
So we go from Joey Chestnut to a young lady out of Hertfordshire. This is via the Daily Star. Miss Sophie Blackman, 24, a journalist, shares her story about how she discovered she suffers from exercise-induced orgasms after shredding 6 stone. I don't know how... does anyone know what a stone is in European... it's like 11 pounds, 10 pounds?
I don't know. I think it's a little more than that.
Okay. Regardless... Corgasms, also known as exercise-induced orgasms, EIO, was first recorded by U.S. sexologist Alfred Kinsey in his 1953 book, Sexual Behavior in the Human Female. So this is her quote, "Sometimes, and I'm not kidding, I go to lie down after because I feel like I've gone through 5 consecutive rounds of sex, yet all I've done is 6 squats." So this young lady got into working out pretty heavily during the COVID pandemic. And God bless her, she lost some weight. She opted not to eat or drink as much, or in excess. Took to the exercise scene really hard, but found out as a result, when she does a dip, she comes. When she does squats, she comes. She can't go to the gym. She's fearful of it. It's just that a lot of these people, it's a very anxiety-induced type thing to exercise around other people. Your thoughts on corgasms?
Amazing. Why is she not the most in shape person in the universe? Why does she not compete in competitions? Why is she not She-Hulk? Why is she getting embarrassed about these orgasms? Why hasn't she started an OnlyFans page? Yeah, I have several questions. Alan?
Yeah, I mean, those are all great questions. I think the first question that you asked is, I think that this is a convenient excuse for her not to exercise as much. You know what I mean? Like, do we have a picture of her?
Yeah.
God, I don't want to judge her fucking aesthetic, but I'm going to.
Well, it is what we do.
I mean, it's also kind of what this article's about. So, yeah, because let's hold on, let's find out. Because I'm postulating here that because she's like, oh, I squat and I come, so I can't work out. See, cheeseburgers. Yeah, see, mediocre. Yeah,
She's all right. I
She's
mean,
all right. Yeah. I mean, look. We're not writing home. Is all I'm saying. I'm not sending postcards. I'm not sending postcards from the front. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
I do like the idea of the OnlyFans page because I mean, listen, the out of the sick fucks are in this world. I certainly think that there's probably a niche for people who enjoy there's probably fitness heads that like, oh my god, she comes when she works out. God, I want to see that. I'd pay to see that.
I'd work out while I watch that.
yeah. Okay. This specific article is specifically a female problem. Like I don't know. I mean, okay, if I who was it? Was it Jackass who they put the the dildo in their pants so they could walk around with a boner at the gym?
Yes. Yeah. Hey, man, can I get a squat? Can I get a spot?
yeah. Oh. See, like we have a whole different mindset with this thing. Like if guys were able to jizz in their pants every time they did, like I don't like leg day. I don't like doing squats, but if I got the bust one every time my ass touched my fucking heels, oh boy, I'm going to be walking around with quads the size of Cadillacs.
Wait, no, let's be real here. You get a couple squats in, you'd come, and then you'd be done working out. Oh,
okay.
My energy's gone. I gotta go lay down for 15, 20.
But okay, all right, fair enough. But if I was in if I had a female physiology, okay, if I were and I was able to continue that, like, oh, let's do it again. Oh, I would be the most in shape man you ever saw. She is a woman. She has the ability to go multiple times nonstop. God, I just feel like I feel like that would be your second job, is just working out all day. I'm sure it gets a little, you get a little tickle in your tummy and everything, but hey, it's not the worst thing in the world. She's making it out to be the worst thing in the world. And I know if she can just get past that barrier, then it could be the greatest thing in the world. It's a fine line.
But isn't the beauty of orgasming, is there such thing as orgasming too much? If someone were to do it 40 times a day, you think like, God, I mean, yeah, it's fun while it lasts, but when it's all said and done, I wish I didn't do it that much. Isn't like the moderation type thing? Am I way off on my train of thought here?
We might need a female perspective on this, maybe. Yeah. I mean, as men, I mean, we're designed to be kind of like a one and done kind of event. But the cosmopolitan magazines of the last 50 years seem to tell us, from their perspective, it's the exact opposite. No, you want to go as many times as you can. And if he's not giving you more than one, you need to move on. That seems to be the logic that we've been beaten into our heads since the 1980s. So, to me, like, what do you want, ladies? What do you want? Do you want more or do you want none? And if you're getting it from... Gosh, man, I don't know. Again, we might need a female perspective on this.
Damn.
Alan?
No, I got nothing there. I still think it's a ploy. I think she's bullshitting. I think she's clout chasing, as the kids say. I think that's what they say. I don't know that that's our demographic. But yeah, no, I think she's bullshitting. Fuck her. But
straight up bullshitting.
If she starts an OnlyFans, I guess let me know.
It does make me wonder if this is like her excuse to not work out. Like, oh, I can't work out because I mess my panties up every time.
Like, yeah, no, I don't believe you, bitch.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're listening to this, young lady,
Miss Blackman.
I don't believe you.
Like a warm, creamy chutney. Get ready for another spoonful of the middle class holes.
Welcome back to the Middle Class Holes Fox Man, Alan Murr. Actually, I just realized that I didn't do a actual formal introduction normally like we do during the Force go around. So I'm sorry, folks. Middle Class Holes. We got way too into Joey Chestnut on the 4th of July. I mean, my loins were on fire, literally.
It's just eagles screaming in the background, like just freedom. Freedom was ringing, I believe, in all of our ears. And we just couldn't help ourselves.
Anytime I think of that, there was it wasn't QVC, but there was like a late night by QVC-esque show that I can think of. But they sold stuff like that. They sold like knife sets that had bald eagles etched into the handles, and mirrors that had it was still a mirror, but it also had like carvings and engravings with the bald eagle kind of looking off at 2:00 over Mount Rushmore or some shit.
I still think my favorite random infomercial, it was like the gold-plated commemorative coins that commemorate nothing at all, and it's like, save yourself a lifetime of regret and disappointment. Order now. Like,
right.
Get your George W. Bush .001 leaf gold-plated commemorative coin.
To say it was something whack, the sterling silver. You're like, oh, cool.
U.S. Mint certified.
Right? No, I think I'm with you, Wes. The infomercials with the knives and the knife sets, and like, well, not so much like even culinary knife sets. Like, I like the country guys being like, check out this fucking 8-inch Bowie knife right here. It'll skin you up a deer real good. We'll send it right to your door, $49.99. It fucking, like, people would be like, yes, give me it right now.
I'm gonna start hunting tomorrow. I'm gonna start fishing tomorrow. I'm gonna start hunting and fishing tomorrow.
Just start putting mossy oak into your fucking Amazon cart. Just doesn't matter what it is.
One of my favorites is Esteban. He's like a Hispanic. He's a classical guitarist from like Mexico, and he was doing this long infomercial for his custom guitar, and he's sitting there and he's got like these fingernails that are like shaped like guitar picks. And he's just, I'm like, okay. He's like, so order my guitar now, signed by me, Esteban. And I'm like, okay. Who the fuck?
Like Esteban, because he talks about himself in the third person.
Yeah, he's like, would you like to play like Esteban? Then order my guitar. And I was like, who the fuck thinks they can play like Esteban because they order Esteban's guitar? Either you can play guitar or you can't. And then I went to a coworker's house, and I was like, is that your guitar? It's like, yeah, man, it's the Esteban guitar.
It's so stoked.
And I picked it up, and anybody knows anything about guitars, it's like, the fretboard was, the frets were so high, like you would have to have like Hulk Hogan-esque fucking fingers to actually press the strings down to make a sound. And you couldn't, unplayable.
Nylon strings are the fucking worst. Like classical. Oh God, yeah. No, I believe it. I believe Esteban's guitar is a piece of trash.
How much were they?
Made a dude, it was like, I think it was like $250 too.
Yeah, that sounds right.
God, what was worse, the Esteban guitar that this guy had, or the katana that Lyle bought?
Ooh, yeah. I mean, at least the katana. I mean, if you ran it through like a sharpener, it would probably work properly, and you don't need a lot of skill to like swing a sharpened piece of steel through the air. So I would say that I would go with the katana before I would go with the Esteban guitar.
I was gonna say Esteban's guitar was like a bunch of fucking leftover plywood lacquered up real nice, and fucking some fucking weed whacker cord that he just fucking put on pegs and was like, "Here's your guitar, like you can play like Esteban." Trash.
Good God. I'm looking at some images right now. I see it.
Are you looking at Esteban?
Yeah. Hey, I wanted to bring this to your guys' attention. We got some traction on some of our social media stuff, especially a video that was posted on our official Middle Class Holes YouTube page titled Alec Jones, Conspiracy Theorist. A comment that came through. It's Latin L 2003. He says, quote, "No one watches you!" Exclamation point. "Club of losers!" Exclamation point. "He has his own brand and line of products. What do you have? A YouTube channel? F you." I thought that was I thought that was worth sharing. I responded. I said, "So because the guy is much more successful and wealthy than we are, that makes him a better person?" Perhaps, maybe.
That.
Oh, that's funny. Now, were those all separate comments, or are those all one comment?
That was one comment.
Oh, I was like,
okay.
Separate.
That page is littered.
Because
I tagged that successfully because it was a lot of like, everything he says is right. Everything he says, you guys don't know what you're talking about.
Well, because I saw one guy on there, like he seemed like he was like commenting in real time as he watched the video because there was like 17 comments in a row. That's wrong. No, you don't get it. What you said right there is not a correct statement at all. You should do more research on what you just said in this second here. Like, I'm like, how fast are you typing?
And of course, I'm getting the alerts on my phone and commenting, and Sarah's like, "Are you debating with a conspiracy theorist again?" It's like, yes, but it's on our channel this time.
On our page. It's different.
It's us. It's not.
Got to defend ourselves.
Yeah. F you, Latin L 2003.
Hell.
Jerk. This is a article that I wanted to bring to your guys' attention. Comes via a young lady named Tina Gonzalez. Not she probably has no relation to Esteban. So it's titled "Depraved Prison Guard Pleads Guilty to Having Sex with an Inmate in Front of Other Prisoners." Miss Gonzalez admitted to the crimes, and her attorney Martin, name I got Teliznik.
Scorsese?
Martin Scorsese, that's correct. He moonlights as an attorney.
That's right.
Claimed her, quote, "marriage was falling apart when she committed these acts. It was never intention to bring any harm or danger to the employees in the jail or anyone else in the jail," said the attorney. In addition to sex, Gonzalez reportedly gave inmates razor blades and a cell phone. Gave this inmate, not multiple, but this inmate, and also tipped him off into cell phone searches. This is one that I like to read, this quote here. "Cutting a hole in your pants and making it easier to have sex with an inmate and having intercourse with him in full view of 11 other inmates is something only a depraved mind could come up with," Fresno County Assistant Sheriff Steve McCummins said. "The fact that she continuously calls and has sexually explicit conversations with the inmate in question and even boasts about her crimes she carried out shows that she's incapable of owning up to her mistakes and will undoubtedly continue them in the future." I mean, this seems like an inmate's dream, man. You're fucking no conjugal visits. And then you get some. And I saw her picture. She's kind of cute. She's letting old what's an inmate's name? Whomever. Skeeter tap that ass.
Okay. I've got several points I want to make on this. Alan, you go ahead, and I'll make my several points because I tend to talk.
So I'll be honest with you. I didn't. This is one of the articles I did not get to. So is she did. Just so that I'm clear, she's a new employee, and she's
a guard.
She's a new guard, and she's just letting the fellas, go to town.
One fella.
Just one fella.
But while 11 others watched one fella.
Well, that's just porno. So let's that sounded judgy coming out of you, and I just want you to dial it back.
Sounds judgy coming out of me. Oh, interesting.
It sounded a little. You said 11 fellas, and I was like, ooh, okay, a little spicy. I'm sure you've seen some gangbang porn, sir. So excuse me.
I, sir, have never been to Tijuana before. I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, this is clearly against the rules. Obviously, but hey, man, good for her. She found love. What is she gonna do with it? I don't know. And good for him because he got some booty in jail. So who's hurt here? Really is the question.
Yeah, I do have that same question. Who's hurt here? See, here's the thing though. Like, I'm willing to bet on the days that she was on the floor, there were no problems. Even if you're in jail, and even if you're not the guy getting to participate, if you're able to see it, I mean, come on. That's a payday for you right there. This is also a good argument for the 4-day work week. I feel like, she's a little too familiar with her clientele, if you will. Okay. They've gotten to know each other way too intimately, if you will. So, like, the fact that she's at work so much that she's able to spark a relationship with someone she's supposed to be, like, I don't know, like, guarding over to make sure that they're not getting into shit, that they're not getting into shit with other people. And it also brings up the question of, like, are these prisons or are they rehabilitation centers? Like, what are we doing here? So, like, if they can't have conjugal visits, they're obviously just going to be like, just pushing to get it. And whoever this is has an acid tongue and deserves to be in a sales department somewhere in America selling some product. If he can talk a prison guard into giving him pussy while she's working in front of 11 other inmates, he can sell some product.
Well,
he's selling himself.
She was going through, according to her, marital problems. So I mean, it's like selling, selling water to a well. You know.
He's like, I'm gonna cuckold the shit out of this motherfucker. Oh, today has been a very sexual episode. I don't know, man. Like, I think we're good. I think more. My next question, burning question is, what's the lottery like to get in the audience? Are there tickets? Do you like call Jerry at 1-800-Jerry? You know what I mean? And then you just get tickets to the show, or how does it work? Or was it just a one-time audience thing? Because you said there's a bunch of dudes. You know what I mean? There's no way that they only watch that once.
Yeah,
no, that's you only got caught once. That's what happens in these situations,
right? Yeah. I think she got caught once with 11 other people watching. So yeah, I mean, I guess you could draw your own conclusion and say it was the same 13 people participating or not participating in said act, and that's fine. I also wonder, like, what the whole cutting her hole in her pants while I mean, for the opportunity to have 11 other people watch. So she needs, like, cut a slit in her pants in order to make it less conspicuous or inconspicuous, rather. That was kind of alarming to me.
You know, I'm sure skirts aren't part of the prison guard ensemble. So
no.
you gotta create an access port. If you don't have an access port, it gets a little hairy.
Right. Well, okay.
Somebody's got to get fully naked in a sketchy situation. You know, you can't be having that.
It might have already been a little hairy.
Might have been.
Perhaps. This is what I was gathering here, is that, okay, she does that. She cuts the slit in her work uniform. 11 people gather around in order to create a barrier. And then this guy, does the business with her. And at some point, another guard's like, "Hey, Gonzalez, what the hell's going on down there?" And she doesn't have to, pull her pants back up or anything like that. Like, nothing, Thompson. Go back to work. I got a handle down here.
Just comes flopping on out, and she goes about her business.
That's right.
Like, yeah.
That's right.
I think the barrier thing, I guess that's reasonable. That makes more sense. I was kind of picturing it like a stadium seating type thing, because you know how, like, they got the bunks in jails. What? So the bunks in the actual cells themselves. Sure. I'm assuming they're just getting it on over here, right? But over here, like, you could sit a layer on the floor, and then a layer on the first bunk, and then a layer on the top bunk. And so you can really pack them in. Maybe
11's all they could fit. Maybe that's,
what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the capacity.
That makes sense. 4, 4, 3 on the ground. Again, ground level.
Going back to my salesperson analogy here, this inmate was able to convince 11 other inmates to not forcibly participate in this act and create a barrier. Now, in my mind, before you said that, I was just thinking like they were in adjacent cells, just like, oh, here comes Gonzalez. And then they got their hands up against the bars like in some 50s like prison film, ooh, let's watch this. And then she just bends over in front of the bars, and that's where he goes to get his action. But you're saying that she actually unlocked the cells, everybody gathered round, and then homeboy gets to go to town. Like, I mean, talk about her influence on them is like, okay, Johnny's got me right now. Johnny's gonna bang me. You guys want to watch? And like, oh yeah, everybody gather around.
You think they use protection?
No.
Nope.
I don't know. I was just curious. I'm just asking the questions that are coming to mind.
I mean, no, but no, probably not. But I think it's to go back to what you said more. I think it's more of a gen pop situation where the doors are open during the day. It's not like they have to like open and close the doors every time they're in and out. Probably a little more thing. But this is what this is what I wanted to talk about. All right. So she claims to have done this because her marriage was falling apart. And hey, that very well may be true. She very well may have a rough marital life, rough home life, and this was an outlet for her. But I'm just going to... Okay, I understand that fraternization in the workplace happens all over the world, all over the United States, all over the little towns and villages and cities and populaces that we live in. I get it. But I'm going to say, if you go into an HR office after getting caught having sex in cubicles while 11 other of your cohorts watched while someone else went to town on you, and you're like, my marriage is falling apart, and that's why I let 11 of my coworkers watch Tom fuck me on the by the cooler. That won't fly. I'm sorry. This is a very unique situation. No, she's in jail. She's in jail now.
Well, yeah. I mean, obviously that's bullshit. I mean, because you could just literally like leave work, go to a bar, tap any man you want on the shoulder, and say, "Hey, you want to go to that stinky urinal over there and bang one out real quick?"
I got
your marriage. Like, yeah, you can do it with anybody.
My marriage is failing. Like, I wasn't asking if your marriage was failing or successful. I don't particularly care.
I'm just here for grilled cheese, but I mean. I got time.
Susie, how much longer in that grilled cheese? 4 minutes, Pete. Cool. All right, let's go.
Exactly. No, but it comes down to, like, you talk about fraternization at the workplace and all that. This comes back to Americans working too much at the place that they get their paychecks from. Like, you end up becoming too intimate with the people that you work with because you work with them too much. You're around them too much. If you're around your coworkers so much so that you create intimate relationships with them, then you are at work too much. And so I would like to take this as a case study to get us all 3-day weekends. That's all.
I like it.
Ms. Gonzalez, you may have made a case. Well, without further ado, we move on to one of our favorite segments. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a segment that we like to call the Q Report.
Epstein's alive. Pizzagate. The earth is flat. Hollow. Space is fake. You're part of the cabal. Man.
The Q Report.
But anyway, guys, this one, Murr dug this bad boy up, I believe. This new conspiracy, or a new plot, I guess, to get our boy Trump back in office. I'm fucking pulling for it, man. Let's do it. Let's devolve into just fucking nationalists, Christian state, Catholic state, whichever sect of Christianity we want to use, and just go for it. But anyway, Murr sent us this article about the new plan to get Trump in office. Our boy Matt Gaetz from down in Florida, who's definitely not possibly going to be under investigation for taking a youngster across the state line. But that's neither here nor there. While he's in office, he is definitely going to vote for Donald Trump for Speaker of the House when, of course, the Republicans take back the House. Coming up here in, 2022? Is that the next election?
That's correct.
So,
yes.
So, yeah. Guys, that's it in a nutshell. There's not too much to it. The only thing that I will say is that Trump has expressed no real interest in running for Congress. So that could be a hiccup in this plan. But as every good constitutional scholar knows, there really is no provision in the Constitution that says you have to be a congressman to be the Speaker of the House.
I was not. See, that's the fact. That's the point that I was not aware of.
Yes.
Right.
So that's kind of like, remember we always say there's that little nugget of like, oh, you guys aren't totally retarded or That's probably the wrong word to use, but you get it.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're not totally devoid of intelligence. There's a nugget in there of a little bit, and that's it. That's it in this one. Everything else is total bullshit.
I guess that's always been tradition, though. Yeah, right. The Speaker of the House has always been a House of Rep of some point.
A ranking member of the House.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I love about this is kind of a theory that I feel like, I mean, I'm literally not tooting my own horn here, but this is something I kind of thought of a while back, that if he went to Florida because he lives, Mar-a-Lago and all that if he ran, when you're saying he doesn't have to run, which actually puts a new wrinkle in this, if he ran for Congress and he won, or ran for the House and he won, and then they would just institute him in to replace Pelosi, and then he would actually somehow become more powerful than the president of the United States.
Third in line to the presidency.
I'm sure Biden would love that. sitting behind him, addressing Congress.
Yeah, like at the State of the Union, homeboy would just be chilling.
Listen, when Nancy Pelosi ripped up Trump's speech at the end of his State of the Union, and by the way, I would challenge anybody to go back and listen to that particular State of the Union address and not get a little, I'm not saying that Trump wrote that or anything, but that was a great ending speech to that State of the Union address, and then Pelosi rips up the fucking speech. If knowing that there's a precedent set for disrespect of a president, to have the Speaker Trump behind Biden rolling his eyes every time he stumbled through a sentence, the comedy of it makes me want it to happen.
Like, you wouldn't be able to hear him, but you just see him like, wrong, you're wrong, it's lies, it's total lies, or you're wrong.
Or this.
A little purse lip. No head shake.
I would definitely interrupt him at least once.
If we can guarantee, this is going to sound so anti what I've been for the last year and a half to 2 years. If we can guarantee that this won't impact a lot of our day-to-day lives, if he isn't trying to do like full-blown Trump presidency stuff, and it's just kind of a comedy act, I think I'd be for it as well.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. The Speaker of the House is a pretty important role.
I know.
He might jam some stuff up, or so that he jams some stuff up.
But let's be perfectly honest here. As far as we go, middle-class assholes who don't have a lot of money in the stock market, we go to work, we live our day-to-day lives. Does any of this stuff really impact us?
Nah.
Unless you're talking about percentage points of what you're taxed between presidents, and at that point, I don't know. If I don't count cents when I look at my pay stub, but if I'm noticing like $50 and $75 a pay stub, I'm like, what the hell's going on? I don't really think too much about it. I don't piss and moan. I usually just buy a 12-pack on Friday and go, you know what? I'm going to drink most of this, if not all of it. And that's about all I do.
Exactly. So if there's some entertainment value to be gained from this,
hell yeah!
I feel like I'm in. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I made more money under Trump than I made through the rest of my adult life.
That's a good point.
Good or bad, positive or negative, I don't know. Just to see the media's heads fucking implode and explode all at the same time. Oh, yeah. No. So, I mean, either way, I honestly believe that Trump, considering that Florida stayed open under COVID, gives the Republicans an edge. Trump was a president. There's a lot of old asshole Republicans down in Florida. I feel like they'd vote him in if he ran for a Senate seat or a House seat. And I feel like this is a totally plausible plan. And the only reason this Matt Gaetz motherfucker's doing this is because he's probably going to go to jail in a year and a half. And maybe if the sitting speaker is on his side, he doesn't go to jail. So he has to back this plan. That's the only reason he's proposing it.
I want to punch that guy in the fucking face.
He does have he has a Patrick Reed, like, straight right to the fucking chops looking face. Just pfft. Yeah. Yeah, but maybe the plan is to get Trump beeline to the presidency again, so he can pardon his ass. Right? Isn't the goal to get him in Pelosi's seat to eventually move up?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think if you that, I think this would be my prediction. Like if that went down and he did somehow become the Speaker of the House, Biden and Harris would 150 fucking percent get assassinated. 150%.
No.
Why?
No.
Why?
No, because the last time that happened was before we were born, and I don't think it's.
Ronald Reagan was shot.
He was shot by a random fucking schizophrenic.
And I was waiting for you to say,
No.
and Ronald Reagan's so fucking badass, he got up and walked away. Got in the limo himself.
Because the percentage of schizophrenics is probably down since the Reagan eras. Is that what you're saying? Like, come on, bud. Like, someone, that fucking Puerto Rican Proud Boy would probably definitely kill one of them.
I'm just saying, we've upped our level of security since that time frame. Okay, like those guys were like literally just like walking around. Now the Secret Service literally walk around with like 2 Uzis in their hands with fake arms coming out of their jackets. Like it ain't gonna happen like that.
I get it, but also, like, a would-be assassin could just move to Texas and buy a fucking Barrett 50 cal. And we're good to go. Like it's not like everything else hasn't gone along with the trends. Sure, Secret Service carry Uzis because regular people kill a bunch of people all the time with the guns that we are allowed to have in America. So yeah, things have changed on both sides of the coin. And I think there's crazy enough crazies on the Trump team, not even in the Republican team, but just the Trump team that would kill that would definitely kill Biden and Kamala.
Have you ever seen In the Line of Fire? I mean, Malkovich, that seems believable. That's plausible. That's a real deal.
Even more so now, actually, because of the fucking 3D printing that goes on.
Yeah. The plastic gun.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Hey, I'm telling you, I think that's what this would probably be the climate, the political climate that could see another American president assassinated.
You're actually making a better point for this to happen for Trump, because if it can happen, quote unquote, legally, then there's no need for any of this nonsense to be carried out. So, to save any nonsense, then you let this happen. You let it play out. You let the voters decide. And we just see what happens.
Well,
it is a comedy routine, and sadly, it affects all of our lives in the most dangerous way humanly possible.
Here's the saving grace, I think, is that his ego won't allow him to not be president. He's either going to be president or he's going to be a broke fucking homeless man.
You mean I'm going to be number 3? I don't want it.
Yeah,
I'm not. Yeah. I don't take 3rd place.
It could be like you could literally make the country your fucking country from this seat, and he'd be like, nope, gotta be president, like, because he's an idiot and an egomaniac. So
before we close out the segment, your guys' thoughts on his now current tussle with Rudy, who he's pretty much basted away, and Rudy now he can't believe that actually Rudy wants to get paid for his services as his lawyer through that failed.
You mean Donald Trump contracted somebody to do work for him and does not want to pay him? You fucking lie. Don't you say such thing.
This is the greatest, like, and you know what Trump's gonna do too, because apparently Rudy has like been drinking himself to death for like the last 2 years. So he's gonna come at him like, you were too drunk. You were too drunk to do the job, so I'm not gonna pay you for it. What did I get out of it? Nothing. That's what's going to happen. That's exactly how this is going to go down.
No, it definitely is. It's
Rudy's
fault.
You hire a guy like Rudy Giuliani. What do you think the guy's doing pro bono work for you? Legit? Or is this like I never really had an intention of paying him anyway?
Bingo.
I think it's that he promised, listen, Rudy, you make this happen. You make this work. I'll give you a high-end position. I think that was all the promises. And I'm almost willing to bet that somewhere in the conversation, there was never a mention of payment. That normal people like Rudy Giuliani, who's an attorney, like just like, well, I'm your attorney. Yeah, you know you're going to pay me. It's like, we never discussed this. We never talked about paying each other.
Never signed a retainer. Never nothing. So, boom.
Yeah. And I think Trump, the greatest grifter of all time, and he's going to get away with it.
But you see, if he fired the grift machine back up. If we forgot about that, like he was like, "Up, guess what? Suing Zuckerberg, suing fucking Dorsey, fucking Twitter, fucking, and y'all are gonna pay for it." It's basically how that happened. Like I was watching the press conference of him talking about it, and I got the Trump email that was like, "Need them monies," and I was like, "Bro, people are gonna fall for this shit."
Yep.
This is wild.
And he just started up his own, or well, he's part, I don't know if he's even owner or not, but he Getter, like GTTR or whatever, like the new social media platform, which apparently now is just riddled with like porn conspiracy theories and fucking just complete nut jobs.
Is that the Larry the Cable Guy? Did he start that?
Get her done. It's well, you know what though, and I'm not Trump, smart man, probably just was like, hey, what's that thing that guy says? Get her done. Yeah, get her. That's it. Get her. That's the name of the platform. And so there's a new social media out there for all you nut jobs. It's Get her, censorship free.
All you listeners. Well, that is the Q report. We, I guess we're going to keep our ear to the grindstone and hopefully I can't believe I'm saying this. Hopefully some headway gets made with Mr. Trump sitting behind our president, one former president sitting behind our current president at every State of the Union, every time they address Congress with that smug look on his face. All right. Well, without further ado, we present to you Fun Fact Friday. Mr. Murr, take it away.
That's right. It is time for 5 fun facts for you fuckers on your Friday, being brought to you by the Shin Splints Recovery Group. They motivated us, so we have to thank them in a way. They are a fake medical group for a fake medical condition known as shin splints. And if you are suffering from shin splints, any pain below the knee and above the ankle, you can find the Shin Splints Recovery Group on Facebook. Last week, they had more likes and follows than us. And as of this week, they can go fuck themselves because we cranked up the fucking heat to 150 degrees Fahrenheit, and we have annihilated them and taken first place in the Facebook club.
Because we're real and they're fake.
Yeah, I hope that if someone in that group who has a shin splint in their left shin gets one in their right shin as a result of this.
Yeah. Yep.
And here, I'm going to save you months of comments back and forth. Rest. Don't do anything.
I hope that the new $250 Brooks running shoes that you bought fucking make it worse.
Yes, I agree with Alan 100%. And I actually, you know what? I'm going to give you some other advice. Just keep running on them. Keep running on your shin splints, and maybe the fractures, the hairline fractures in your bones will heal.
Then
magically.
When your shins shatter into a million pieces, we'll just put you down like a dummy.
Actually, we'll just we'll do the surgery that they did to the grandfather in King of the Hill and just attach your knee to your ankle.
Oh, it's so good. Thank you for that.
Let's get to it. Your Fun Fact Friday. Did you know sometimes it pays to be plain? Incredibly beautiful people are less likely to be hired for a job if being interviewed by someone of the same sex. They're also often lonely because they're viewed as inapproachable and intimidating, and are given less care by doctors when being treated for pain, such as shin splints. So if you're beautiful, people do treat you different on all fronts, and sometimes negatively, especially in the areas that it counts.
So this has to do with hiring mostly? I thought if you were more attractive people or more charismatic people get hired.
Well, if you're okay, like let's say you're a super hot dude and you're being interviewed by another dude, then that guy is going to be threatened by your appearance and is going to be less likely to hire you. And in the reverse, if you're a hot chick and you're being interviewed by a less hot chick, she's going to be like, "Fuck this bitch," Danny's been fucking hitting on me for 3 months now. As soon as you come in, they kicking me to the curb. So no, I'm not going to bring. I don't want the threat in the workplace. So and the same thing, like it's like if I don't know, a 35-year-old Heidi Klum was sitting at the bar, you'd be less likely to go hit on her because you're just like, she's too hot for me, man.
Yeah, I think. I mean, to see the apples to apples, I think at the other end of this, you could say like, Christ, I don't want this attractive person having sex with someone else while 11 other people watch in the workplace. I don't need that setting here, this professional environment.
But the one that fascinated me, they're less likely, and are given less care by doctors when treated for pain.
Wow. Yeah. You look like a 5 that can handle the pain. You're fine, right? You don't need any ointments, creams, deodorant.
Your life's been pretty. Well, no, I mean, but you're so hot. Your life's been pretty easy up to this point. It's time to suffer a little bit, you dainty bitch.
Oh, they're saying that the more attractive people are less likely to receive treatment, huh?
Yes.
Wow. What study was this? Who did this? What study?
There's no fucking. Do you want me to read the whole thing again?
I'm sorry. I thought it sourced who did research for this.
I'm going to do this, Alan. I want you to watch the screen for me. Okay. Look. You see that? You see that?
Yeah.
That's it. That's my study. You see? Look. At the top, there's a football helmet, and there's a fake disguise that like Groucho Marx would have worn in a black and white movie.
Right.
Like that's where I'm getting my fun fact Fridays from. It's a calendar.
Hey, I also like it. That's the 2-for-1. That's a Saturday Sunday special. That's extra.
Yes,
that's extra. Did you know?
Did you know they were too lazy to actually write 2 facts for July 3rd and 4th?
Well, it's a holiday, so take a day off.
So I guess the moral of the fact is it doesn't always pay to be super attractive. Yes, you might have more Instagram followers. Yes, people might ogle you and be jealous of your appearance, but you're less likely to get hired. You're less likely to get immediate care from a doctor. You're not approachable by the average person for a date. There's those things too.
Okay.
So careful what you wish for.
God.
Did you know memories are so easily manipulated that in 3 hours you can be convinced that you committed a crime that never happened? Researchers did a study in order to understand more about why people have gone to jail for false confessions, and they were able to convince 70% of participants that they were guilty of a fake crime. The college-age participants not only confessed, they described very detailed experiences that never actually happened.
This is how conspiracy theories are born. Born right here. Eyewitnesses are unreliable. 100%.
Your own memory is unreliable.
It's true.
You and I could talk. Wait. All right, you're rolling your eyes. Why are you rolling your eyes?
Because I've dealt with for instance, I hate to go back to this, but I've dealt with so many people who deny that a plane flew into the Pentagon, and they say, well, the eyewitness, I was like, there's 130 people who watched it happen. I say, well, the eyewitness testimony is unreliable. How so? Well, they said they saw it fly at a different. People say they saw it fly northwest, and people say they saw it flying southwest. I'm like, most people don't know what north is right now. You could tell me like, where's north? Like, you'd probably like shoot your arm or your pointer finger in 180 degrees, like somewhere in that direction. Oh, so you went from west to east and found north.
Wes, I just want to let you know that this is an intervention.
Damn, I didn't know we were doing another one tonight.
All roads lead back to 9/11 for you. And listen.
Okay. I saw a video not too long ago about a college professor was teaching a class. It was like an amphitheater of probably like 80 or 90 people. Someone came in and interrupted the lecture. Now this is taped from years ago. came in, interrupted the lecture, yelled a few things, said the professor's full of shit, don't listen to him, and walked out. And then he said, hey, I just want to let you know that's a joke, and then asked everyone in the class to describe the person that they saw. And it was like a wide variety of clothing, how tall the person was, the hair color, whether or not he was wearing glasses or not, things like that. I mean, it was all across the board. It was just very like, it was so vast in terms of what this person looked like that it really didn't paint a picture of who the hell that person was.
So now you're flip-flopping.
You're right. It wasn't a plane. It was a kangaroo that fucking galloped into the fucking side of the Pentagon with explosives carried to his pouch.
The point is like, okay, you know, and we've used this example before, and it's a good example, but like, you know, with like my cousin Vinny, you know, like I shot the clerk. Like the point is that there's like kids that have gone to prison for confessing. And it's almost like if you got sat down by an authority figure and they're like, okay, so here's what happened. And you're like, that's not what happened. They're like, well, let's go over it one more time. And they keep you in that room and they keep explaining to you, this is what happened. Eventually you're like, fuck, maybe that is what happened. And so eventually, through enough time and enough convincing, you can convince yourself that you did something wrong. And that's what this study is all about, is that 70% of people can be convinced that they did something they did not do. Yeah. You know how like you've been in a situation where you start sweating and you're like, how am I going to talk myself out of this? And then you almost start creating details in your mind of things that didn't actually happen, but you've now convinced yourself that they've happened so that you can convince somebody else that they didn't happen.
Yeah. Like it doesn't, like, I think an easy one that, an easy example that is easy to use on people. Pause. The Central Park 5 is a perfect example of this, of the exact explanation that fucking Murr just gave. But two, a very simple psychological example of this is to like start telling a story where like, Wes, you could have been in it. You could have been there with me having fun, having drinks. And I just like, yeah, remember, Wes, we were at that thing. And you're going to be like, oh, yeah, fuck yeah. And if I do that like 2 or 3 more times and tell the same fucking story, you'll start fucking telling the story.
I was there. Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be like, yeah, me and Giannis were there. No, you fucking weren't, dummy. Like, it's just your mind tricks it. You can trick, your mind can trick yourself to fucking think whatever it wants, quite frankly.
I certainly, I'd have to do some follow up on this about the age. You say it was mostly done by college students.
College age.
I have to wonder if there's a certain like window that's a little more prevalent than others. But it's fascinating. I did not know that. I did not know that these people are like, huh, yeah, maybe I did shoot the clerk. Maybe I did poop. Maybe I did poop on that plate and wrap it saran wrap and throw it in the sorority girl's refrigerator. Who the hell would do that?
Well, and what's funny about this is like, me and your brother, like playing soccer in high school, like we'll tell stories, and every couple years we'll be like, hold on, how do you remember this? And we'll realize that we've taken like 3 stories and like blended them together. And that those 3 events never happened at the same time on the same date. They maybe happened over a 3-year process. But but for our own mind's sake, we've turned them into one story because it's more fun to tell.
All happened on a soccer field. Blah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. All in the same year. But no, it was over like 3 years. But yeah, that's your fun fact.
Mad common.
And did you know the last total solar eclipse will happen in about 563 million years? After that, the moon, which moves about 1.5 inches away from Earth every year, will be too far away for it to happen.
And then that Bonnie Taylor song won't make any sense anymore. We'll all be heartbroken.
Total eclipse of the heart.
That's
Thank
right.
you. What does fascinate me about this, I didn't know that the moon moves away 1.5 inches every year.
I mean, don't
for sure everything's drifting outward.
I was going to say, don't every time we circle the sun, we don't come at the the exact same path we came around. And I'm not saying we move away or closer, but it's not, our slingshot with gravity around that star isn't the exact same path every time around.
No, but I mean, I think when you put a number on it, like, okay, for example, in my lifetime, the moon has moved 60 inches away.
Yeah.
So, like, divide that by 32. So it's almost 2 yards further away than it was when I was born. And so, no, but, like, then when you start to think about, like, and I don't want to get into another Q report here, but then when you start to think about climate change and, like, the way things have, it just makes you wonder, like, because there's a lot of climate deniers that are like, it's the sun, man. It's the moon, man. Well, maybe it is. Ever so slightly, but maybe that is the factor. Yeah. I mean, the tides, the way they operate, the moon getting further away. I mean, 563 million years isn't really, but to think that in that amount of time that the moon will be so far away that there won't be any like shadow on the Earth anymore.
This is gonna sound odd, but do you think that if I hate to say like a million years. I really don't think human beings will be here in a million years, in my opinion. But let's just say, what's that?
So we probably won't be here in the next couple hundred.
Do you think? Yeah, perhaps. Let's just say, for conversation's sake, we are 250,000 from now. All right, and they're like, yeah, this is moving away. It's causing way too many problems. Let's get some shit on the opposite side of the moon and put some rockets and just fucking push it back inwards towards the Earth. That's just a layperson making up some shit, but it seems plausible. Do you think they'd try to do some shit like that?
Oh, we have a lot of bad ideas as people. Yes.
Yeah, I think we could do that. That reminds me of an old Adult Swim show. It was like a precursor to Archer, and a couple other things. And the villain in the show, the show is called Frisky Dingo, if you want to check it out. But the villain in the show, his whole premise was that he was building a giant rocket called the Annihilatrix, and it was going to propel Earth into the sun. And so, I mean, yeah, I think we could probably try it. We can give it a whirl.
Well, I mean, at least like put like some boosters. I don't disagree with you that that's not a quote unquote plausible theory by man to like, to stop something. But yeah, like, I mean, you put a bunch of rocket boosters back there. I don't know. Maybe they got some.
Look, when you're brainstorming, stupid shit comes out before good shit comes out.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to kind of try it. You got to try it all from time to time.
We'll get some steel. We'll get some steel cables.
Yeah, put a couple 100,000 like nuclear powered engines on the back of the moon and just start pushing her in. Yeah.
Or like you could, if by that point we have like, we have like Dodge Ram spaceships, and you just fucking shoot like a fucking whale harpoon at the motherfucker. Get a whole fleet of Dodge Ram spaceships, fucking towing power. You know what I mean? Fucking 150,000 mile powertrain warranty, and they just fucking yank the moon back. And then it probably causes a tsunami, but we get over it. We figure it out.
Did you know this episode being brought to you by Dodge and the brand new Ram?
Moon power.
Raw power.
Did you know humans don't have a mating season like other animals, but we do have seasonal sexual habits that peak during the winter and summer? More babies are conceived, more condoms are purchased, and more STDs are diagnosed, and more Google searches of sexual words and dating happens in June and December.
Well, I'm the benefactor of that. I'm a September baby, so I assume that, you can let your imagination travel around 1981, December. Alan and Diane Fox enjoyed themselves.
And I'm a June baby. So like Thanksgiving-ish, I think is about my era.
Yeah.
I was on Christmas Day. So, I mean, my assumption is I was like Pop's birthday. Goodie. Yeah, that's what I would think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Funny enough, I can legitimately tack down. Now I was too drunk to give you the day, but I know the exact event where my child was conceived.
Ooh, wow. Yeah?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Oh, I know, because I had, I think, like 6 craft beers, and I remember like I shouldn't be driving home right now, and then getting home and being like, hey, let's take this upstairs.
Made it home. Let's celebrate.
And then 2 weeks later, there was a pregnancy test, and then the rest is history.
Ooh, man, congratulations. Congratulations. That's mating season, right?
Yes, sir. And finally, did you know diamonds aren't actually rare or valuable? They're the product of one of the most successful ad campaigns of all time. De Beers once claimed a man should spend a monthly salary on a diamond ring as a marketing strategy. It worked so well that they raised prices and restricted their supply, creating an illusion that generations of people still believe to be a mandatory part of the marriage process.
I was aware of that. I thought it was just that they had a monopoly on the actual rock, so they could control the market value.
They have a monopoly on the geographic region where the rock is pulled from the ground, somewhere in Africa. They're South Africans. So there's like a specific spot in South Africa where you can basically just like put your hand in the ground now because they've been digging for so long and just pull up a fistful of diamonds. But they have like a fucking vault where they're just like, nope, we put them all in there and we only release so many a year.
So they have like a Black Panther thing going on.
Yes, the diamond is the adamantium of the real world.
I thought there's not adamantium, is it?
I was like, that's the wrong metal.
Sorry, vibranium. Adamantium is an adaptation. It's an alloy of vibranium. I apologize for my nerd brain fart.
Let's get fucking serious here, bud.
Yeah,
okay.
I knew that. I think.
But hold on,
practice podcast. We're recording.
But the reason adamantium was invented is because they only had so much vibranium because the Wakandans were not giving any away. And so we had to experiment on the vibranium, which created adamantium because they were trying to make more of it. And in the process, created an invulnerable, impenetrable, undullable metal for the skeleton of the Wolverine.
Okay, so to go back to this. Now, I've known that the De Beers family owns the land, or owns the mines rather, and these things aren't rare, so therefore they drive the market price. Now it's 3 months salary, from what I've heard. The other thing too is, I think the whole wedding extravaganza is a fucking scam. Everything from top to bottom, the venues, the flowers, the organists, the orgasms. Those are real. Those are legitimate. But
so she says.
It's all of it, man. It's tough. It's so. God bless.
Yeah.
God bless it.
Says the only unmarried man on the podcast.
Well, I've done a lot of wedding videos, so I kind of get an idea. I'm not sitting here telling you that I know each and everything about it. I just haven't done. I've done some Reddit reading. How dare you? Don't call me. I've done my research.
So the bottom line, you money-hungry hussies out there, you get what you get.
That's right. What's another like affordable option that's legit rare?
That's legit rare?
A ruby?
Probably a ruby or an emerald. Emeralds are actually more rare than diamond.
Okay. If I were to roll up with an emerald ring, you think?
I think.
What the fuck is this?
Are pretty. Opal is pretty rare, I think, as well. But opal's like terrible for jewelry, which is crazy because it's super like soft or something. I don't know. They break.
You ain't getting out of buying a diamond if you're getting married. And this goes to anybody out there.
Was this hold on, sorry, I might have missed it. Was this like a colored diamond? Were we talking about a specific color or just diamonds?
No, just diamonds in general.
Diamonds.
Actually, the other ones are
cheaper.
What's that?
Chocolate diamonds are cheaper.
I would. Well, that's because they're viewed as less.
Yeah,
there's less clarity.
Impure. So actually, all colored ones are impure. Only
Yeah, but they're probably more rare. So anyway, bottom line is you've been duped forever, and advertising works. So if you're ever approached about an ad campaign and you own a small business, it's probably within your best interest to take a good ad campaign up.
By
or
the DeBears
advertise
Company.
on the Middle Class Souls podcast.
Woo! Hell yeah.
Taking sponsors. We reached 500, so we're fucking making money. No, we're not. We're really not. We're trying to though, or we would at least like to eat a lunch entree and talk about you on the podcast.
I'd like to be able to go to the next event I'm invited to with a vegetable platter on the Middle Classholes.
Yeah, I'd like to be like, would you like a great fucking corned beef Reuben? Check out insert deli name here, and then and then I take a bite out of it very dramatically
And pretend to like it.
That your space here, that could have been you. That was just me showing you what could have happened.
And you see this blank hat? Oh, look at all that room for a patch.
Yeah.
Huh?
TaylorMade did that for us and other people who bought this hat.
That's right. The country of Belgium did that for me.
Yep.
Right there.
We're picking up steam, is what we're saying.
And that, my friends, is your Fun Fact Friday.
Woo! Well, all right. So before we get to all the pleasantries of where you can find us, apparently our good friend, Mr. Joe, Christ, I can't even remember. Joe Exotic, Mr. Joe...
Joseph Maldonado.
Maldonado, that's right. Damn it.
But he's got the other dude's last name. Shit.
He took another guy's last name?
Guy who's killed himself by accident or something.
I think that was the last name of the guy who killed himself.
Oh, was it? No, maybe. It could maybe you're right. I don't fucking
All
know.
right, we'll go with Joe Exotic. He's now throwing up. Is it a fundraiser? Is it a raffle? Or is it a first come first serve? Is it a lottery?
No, it's like The Bachelor, but the most hillbilly version that you could ever think of. And you got to remember that listen, I'm not throwing out any judgment here, but it is a homosexuals only application for a new husband because his meth addicted former husband apparently is no longer addicted to meth and therefore no longer quote unquote gay, because apparently he was never gay. He was just there for the meth and the exotic animals.
I don't know if anybody saw the documentary, but yeah, that's exactly what the fuck happened.
Mm-hmm.
He was, I'll feed you meth if you suck this dick. And he was like, fuck.
Actually, I think he asked him. He said, "Do you when you watch pornography, do you watch the guys or the girls?" He's like, "Well, I watch the guys." He's like, "Well, you're not that straight then." I think that's kind of some of the logic. Maybe he knew some of the reverse logic that we were just talking about in Fun Fact Friday.
It's meth. Here you go.
Yeah.
So Joe Exotic, of course, has been in jail for, trafficking of exotic animals and such, and a litany of other felonies. And so his attorney, because apparently, Joe's going to be getting out of jail, or at least he thinks he's getting out of jail soon, his attorney released a press release on, of course, Independence Day, the 4th of July. Joe Exotic's criminal attorney, John Phillips, and his office of attorneys in Jacksonville, Florida, is confident that with new evidence that has been obtained proving conspiracy, obstruction of justice, perjury, and blah, 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 that Joe will be released soon. Therefore, Joe Exotic is having a contest called The Bachelor King, where men over 18 years of age can fill out an application online to possibly be the next romance in Joe's new life. The top 3 picks will receive a 3-night, 4-day, all-exclusive paid romantic getaway with Joe Exotic once he's been released. And it goes on and on and on and on and on and on. And yes, was written by a legitimate attorney.
So how long are they going to have to wait? I thought he was doing 18 years.
Well, he's expected to get out very, very soon.
What? According to who?
According to Joe Exotic. And his meth-rattled mind.
Consider the source. Okay, fair enough. I mean, let's just say he gets out in 5. I mean, whatever. God, whatever works. If you're going to find happiness this way, let's file it in. Get the names up there. Throw your name into this lottery. Get into this Joe Exoticism. what the Tiger Bachelor. What's it called?
Look, man.
The Bachelor King. Okay.
I mean, at this point, how desperate is somebody to get famous at this point? Because, like, all right, look, I'm not a gay guy. I don't look at guys like that, but I can appreciate a handsome gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
I can be like, that guy's good looking. At 0 point in time, what have I ever looked at Joe Exotic and been like, I can figure it out? Nah, no,
Okay.
no. And I like how my man starts to age at 18. He's like, yeah, come on in, freshie. Like, just jump on in. The water is fucking Joe Exotic. Like, oh man, I feel bad for whoever wins this.
I don't know, man. I mean, you look at that press photo of him like laying down and that come hither look with the feathered mullet and the bullet hole tattoos on his chest. I mean, I don't know. There's something. Look, the type of guy that Joe Exotic's looking for is the type of guy who's going to go to joeexoticusa.com.
I'm going to it.
And fill out their application. And for anybody who thinks they're breaking up a marriage, just know that you might be wondering where his current husband is in all of this. Well, that remains up in the air. Dylan has made it clear that Joe will always be in his life and they will always love each other, but may not continue to be his husband after this is all over.
Hey, I'm curious.
Happened.
I'm curious, Alan, if could you say like I don't look at Joe Exotic and be like, man, I can figure that out. Do you think that Anna Nicole Smith was like, yeah, I can figure that out?
Yeah, 100%. She was like, she opened up his bank statement and was like, yep, got that totally under control.
I can figure out $1 billion.
You see, like, look, me personally, I wouldn't have worked for me and his, like it did for his previous husband boyfriend. Like, that guy was like, look at this guy who owns exotic animals and feeds me meth all the time. This is a pretty good gig, minus the dick sucking. But hey, trade-offs, you know what I mean? Like, that guy made that decision, and there was at least some give to the take. You know what I'm saying? Mm. My man's still in jail. What's Joe Exotic offering a new, fucking nubile young man in his 20s that he's trying to fucking get? You know what I'm saying?
A new love interest. There's no drugs, or even if someone is full blown homosexual and attracted to him, and it's like, yeah, I'm in. Like, put me up to a lie detector test. I'll pass it. I'm in. There's nothing to be offered. There's no drugs. There's no sex. There's no. What do you mean? Like, what is he going to do? There's what do you got, Murr?
I don't think he's getting a lot of chomping at the bit for this one.
You're telling me that the man who saved everyone's sanity for the first 3 months of the pandemic is not going to have multiple offers given to him by TBS and the Fox Corporation. You're telling me that this guy is not going to have a reality show coming his way as soon as the bars close behind him the day he's released from prison. There are some white trash, Jerry Springer loving motherfuckers out there that have been itching to come out of the closet for a man like Joe Exotic. It's going to happen. And there are celebrity... Dude, Scott Peterson, the guy who murdered his wife and his unborn child and fucking floated into the bottom of the San Francisco Bay, got married in prison. There is someone for everyone out there. And if there's an online contest, oh, dude, think about the Flavor of Love. think about that burnt match that is Flavor Flav. Had an entire fucking reality show, several reality shows designed around him for the VH1 Corporation.
I like that you said that, Murr, and I was like, yeah.
I mean, yeah. It's like, oh God, it's Flavor Flav and Wesley Snipes. They gotta be like up there in the scale. They dark. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I was kind of more of the analogy of like their career had burned out, but yes, if you want to make, you can take both analogies for what they are.
What about the dude from fucking Poison? What's his name? Rock of Love or Bret Michaels?
Bret Michaels.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were all of those stables of whores were just vile. But I mean, look at the prize. So I think you're going to get a lot of the same. I think you're going to get a lot of just, C-list, D-list, if they were celebrities, but they're just regular people.
Do you think if we did some legwork, we could get a potential contestant on the show? Do you think we got enough clout here at 500 followers? Someone who said, "Yeah, I would." I nominated myself. Or is it nominated? Did you say nominate?
Listen.
Or I threw my name into the ringer to be Joe Exotic's new husband wife.
Listen, bud, I think you're the guy that needs to go fucking just wax it all off, have fucking Sarah grease you up, and just take some photos and just throw them in there with the application. I think you might get a fucking nibble.
Hey, take one for the team, man. You don't gotta do anything weird.
You don't gotta do, yeah. You just gotta go on a free 3-day, 4-night vacation with Joe Exotic when he chooses out of jail and he gets out of jail.
I don't know. I feel like he would fucking shoot me with a Tiger Trank gun, and then I'd wake up with my butthole a little sore, and he'd be like, "Hey, would you like some cantaloupe?"
Hey,
yeah,
listen.
I would. I'd love some cantaloupe.
If you don't remember it, there's no trauma.
Here's a question for you, though.
Perhaps.
Do you think a sore butthole would be worth making all three of us famous? Because I say it is for you.
I agree.
Not me, but you. But I don't think he's into me. I'm just throwing it out there.
And
I am not the flavor. You two are the correct flavor. If I'm gonna pick, no offense, Mer, I think Wes is more of his speed.
No, I agree with you. I'm already married.
Yeah.
And I'm older. Wes, you can pass for a little bit younger than I can. I'm 5'6". You're 6 foot. That's what he's looking for.
Right, so I just need to explain to my girlfriend who lives with me that I may or may not be diving into a fake homosexual relationship with a celebrity, right?
Yeah,
You got
Makes
it.
sense.
Yeah, but it's for the podcast.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Phew. Okay. I'll get the camera broken out. Shut the fuck up.
I'll tell you what. I'll talk to her for you. It's not a. She'll love it.
Look, you bring her on. Me and Alan will smooth it out. Dude, she waxed your nipple.
Yeah.
So she obviously, think about
Let's
that.
send that video to him.
All I said was, do you think we can get one of these contestants on the show? And then immediately you guys were like, oh, you should nominate yourself. Get in there.
You think we could get a contestant on the show? That contestant is you.
Exactly. We've already got the inside track.
Yeah, and you're coachable.
Wow.
We know your interests,
Yeah, Wes, we're saying you're a handsome guy.
and exactly like I said earlier, I will. You're a handsome man,
I'm very flattered. I appreciate this. You guys,
and I just think, look, his type. People got a type.
you guys.
I think you'd look good in sardine oil.
I think it's an athletic. It's an athletic white guy willing to do some stuff.
You guys are
Get dirty.
supportive friends, and I appreciate. I appreciate how you guys handle things. So, with that being said, Alan, where can you find us?
How you handle things.
Yeah.
You can find us at joeexoticusa.com,
Yes.
where you can sign up to be Joe's husband.
Woo!
Yeah, so check that site out. But also check out your boys right here, the Middle Classholes, on all your favorite social media platforms. We are the Middle Classholes on Facebook. We are at MDL Classholes on Instagram and Twitter. And of course, for your streaming pleasure, we're on all your favorite streaming platforms. That's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. And don't forget to email us, guys, at tickleourtummies@gmail.com. That's right, tickleourtummies, plural, @gmail.com. Also, thanks to our new followers. We have a ton of new followers and listeners we've picked up over the last, week or so. So we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us on this little adventure we call the Middle Classholes. Check us out on YouTube as well. We got tons of videos on there. Almost forgot about that platform, gang. But yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been interesting watching the followers go up and up. And you know what? I will not be throwing my name into the Joe Exotic ringer that I just thought about it for the last 30 seconds.
Just know, listeners, you're up against Wes Fox.
I like a good 6-4-3 double play. I like a medium rare steak, and I like a good 50 millimeter lens jammed right in my rear end. All right,
I like to sprinkle cocaine on my hot dogs. And Joe Exotic will be like, "That's my guy.
That's right.
That's my guy right there." Before dunking them in water and sliding them down my throat.
I'm just saying you could tickle a tiger. I'm just saying.
Well, it might take a little while to get to the tiger part, but possibility.
Right. I would be better like zip lining over tiger pits nude, like wee while they're hungry.
I think that's something he would be okay with.
I
think you keep coming up with ideas for why you should do this.
With meat like tied to my banana hammock.
Oh, I'm sure there's some meat tied to that banana hammock, sir. Those kind of meat Exotic's looking for.
Jesus Christ. We're done here. Good night.